I'm sitting here with Mark Greening, who is our Amazon Pro, and we are just looking at, this is what I typically see from Mark, graphs, where things and then they get really good. So Mark...
We like this kind of graphs.
We like this kind
Going
of
in the right direction.
So this is a brand Mark's working with right now, and they were losing really large sums of money on Amazon, and Mark's turned them around. So Mark is an absolute Amazon pro. We've had, in terms of some of the stuff that we've done together, you have taken some products and launched them for a well-known brand and made them now their best-selling products.
That's right, yep. Well, I do troubleshooting for other brands. It isn't just about turning them around, it's about finding out where the problem is. Often people will come to me and say, here's the problem, and they're what we're describing as the symptoms, not the root cause. And what I can often do is to go in and do all the analysis on their business, particularly their products, and I can then work out what the root cause is.
So we hear, when we're out talking to brands all the time, they're talking about, they want to go direct to consumer via Facebook and via Amazon.
Yep.
Why is Amazon important for an e-commerce brand?
Well, it's important because it's got the most eyeballs in the world in terms of an e-commerce platform. And it's also to do with buyer intent. When you're selling on something like Facebook or other platforms, you're interrupting their entertainment or whatever they're on there for. With Amazon, the intent for the buyer is to buy something. They go on Amazon to purchase things. So therefore we see, we'll typically see 15% conversion rates on Amazon, whereas you'd see fractions of a percent on selling via other channels like Shopify and things like that. So it's in terms of driving
we aim for like 2.5%, can I just say minimum Shopify? Fractions of a percent? Like, what's he on about?
The point is that the cost of driving that traffic results in much higher level of sales. Providing you understand what leads to good ranking and good selling on Amazon. It's a particular skill that's unique to Amazon, and there are skills obviously unique to other platforms. But
so can we just talk about that for a moment? Because one of the things, when we're talking about D2C and we're driving traffic from Facebook and Google, which is one discipline. Why is Amazon? Because it's a whole different world. I know why it is, but can you explain why is Amazon like it's a world in its own right that requires its own specialist skills, just as Google does, just as Facebook does? What's the situation?
Because in order to achieve rank, you need to understand how the underlying Amazon algorithm works.
Yeah.
A lot of people profess to understand. No one really understands, but you can understand how it behaves on the Amazon environment.
Yeah.
And what achieves ranking. And there's all sorts of other factors like indexing and keyword relevancy and how to set up listings and the importance of images, which are unique to Amazon or the way they interpret them on Amazon. I mean, it's obviously all e-commerce environments have keywords and images and things like that, but you need to understand on Amazon how to use those to leverage your product and how you can get it in front of customers, the largest volume of customers.
So how does the Amazon algorithm?
But it's all to do with ranking. You need to understand how to do proper keyword research, to put keywords in your listing. Relevancy is really important. How to also interpret the numbers, and that's where I see a lot of problems when I work with e-commerce brands, particularly on Amazon, is they don't understand what the numbers are telling. And I often say to people, Amazon numbers, or numbers in particular, will tell a story. And that story comes out in the terms of those numbers. And if you can interpret those numbers and understand where to focus your attention, then that's how you can lead to success on Amazon. And it's all to do with understanding things like traffic and conversion, but in Amazon's unique way. Things called sessions and unit session percentages. They have different terminology and they treat them in a slightly different way. And different things lead to those numbers being important or not.
Can I just say that Mark is actually getting more technical than I do, isn't he?
I am actually.
I get told off for being technical.
Yes, I'm a numbers guy. I'm a technical guy.
Amazon used to be a place where you'd go to buy things like adapter plugs and practical stuff.
Yeah.
Now in the US, it's very consumer product brand based, much more than in the UK. It's more big brands there. What is happening in the UK and Amazon in general? What does Amazon want to do with their platform?
Well, long term, they want to attract bigger brands,
Yeah.
and bigger brands that use Amazon as their main platform to fulfill their products and to sell their products on. We used to say when I started working with Amazon a few years ago that brands weren't important on Amazon because people search by product.
Yeah.
And they said, I want a plug adapter, or I want a lead. But
even in a space like beauty, which we know really well, you'd be thinking, well, people are searching for eye serum, they're not searching for L'Oreal eye serum. But what's the change?
The change is that now people are starting to use Amazon as the starting point for their searches. We always used to say people started on Google or other platforms and then found their way onto Amazon. Now people are using Amazon as a search engine, and they are putting in terms that aren't just products. That what they're doing is they're putting in, they're trying to find solutions to problems, and they're putting in much more longer phrases and different ways of describing something. But most importantly, they're putting in brands now.
Right.
The latest brand, actually, this one that I'm working with.
The one with the good chart.
One of the things that was unique about that, which was different to how we've worked before, is that they make a large percentage of their sales off of their brand name.
Right, that's really different, right?
That is very different.
Yeah.
Something that surprised me is
versus what they actually do, like face cream.
Yes.
So people are searching for their brand.
So they're searching for their brand, and they're searching for their brand plus product names and things like that.
Right.
So they're using their brand name to try and find what other products they do, and it's the way the trend on Amazon is going. They're starting to attract bigger brands. They're starting to make with things like brand registry, the improvements around brand registry, the improvements around targeting. So recently, Amazon have introduced a number of changes to their PPC algorithms, where you can target brands and you can target particular products, basins as we call them, in order to sell your own products. So I'm getting technical again, aren't I? It is changing in the way that Amazon are beginning to sell their products and beginning to attract bigger brands.
So when we're out talking to all the beauty brands and health brands and fashion brands we talk to, and they're saying, should we be on Amazon? What's the answer?
Absolutely. It's a must these days. And what we're also finding is that from other brands that we work with that have got, say, Shopify sites, is that what we're finding also is that when you boost your traffic to your Shopify site, your Amazon sales begin to increase. And what happens, we believe, is that as people begin to find your brand off of Amazon, because of Prime membership and free delivery and all of that kind of stuff, and the credibility that Amazon has, is that people then go to Amazon to see whether you're on there.
I mean, we've had it on our ads for a beauty brand where they say, great ad, I'm going to buy this product on Amazon. And I'm like, don't buy it on Amazon. We need you to buy it through the ad so that we get...
Yeah, and that's what happens.
And that's actually, people say, love it, off to Amazon to buy it. So that's just the multi-channel, be everywhere.
But if you're not on Amazon,
yeah.
then suddenly, and you put in the name of your brand, and then what you can do on Amazon is you can bid on advertising, you can bid on other brands.
Yeah.
So if you're not on there, people type in your brand name, then what will come up is all your competitors.
Yeah.
And then people will make a purchase for one of your competitor products. And so having been represented on Amazon is important.
Essential.
It's essential.
Okay.